Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tronage, and today we're going to be talking about FPV crate for June 2021. Want to see what's inside this box? And I know you do, so stick around. June 2021 box, baby, right here in my hand. We're going to be cracking it open. I'm really curious to see if the trend will continue. What trend, you may ask? Well, the last couple of boxes have been really strong on value. Like, for example, if you've missed the May unboxing, you can check that link up there. There was some really good value in there. So I'm wondering, are they going to continue that trend and giving us that value that us as consumers want? Or are they going to drop the ball? Maybe this is a dud. We don't know until we crack this open. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring you in close. We'll unbox this together live and in person, give you my genuine reactions. We'll do a cost analysis to see what's in here, what it's worth, how much you paid, all that fun stuff. And then I'll just give you my thoughts on these different items and, you know, kind of how I feel about them. But before we do any of that, slam that subscribe button. While you're at it, hit that bell icon. Makes finding my videos a whole heck of a lot easier, helps support the channel, and it keeps you in the know when I post content such as this. So please go down, hit that subscribe button, make everybody happy. All right, so with that out of the way, why don't you come on in? FPV crate, yeah. All right, guys, so we're gonna crack this guy open. We'll do a little flipperoo. We're gonna hit up this seal, which is just so buttery smooth to cut. Oh, I love that. I mean, it's such little pleasures in life we get, but it's so good to cut that. All right, we flip it back around. We get this flap open. This is kind of a tighter box here. All right, it says send it, but we're just gonna open it. And here we go. So we have our spoiler alert. I'm gonna take that away first and just take out the sticker sheet and take a peek at that. Pretty cool stuff. So what it looks like we have here is we have basically kind of like everything you sort of run into with problems. You have your VTX that's so hot you could cook an egg on it. You have your GoPro that's all smashed up. You have your Immortal T antenna that's kind of just destroyed. You have your low ESR capacitor that's not connected to anything, so that's causing problems. This looks like your antenna just completely came off, which is usually why this happens in the first place. So yeah, lots of issues there, but it is a pretty cool sticker sheet nonetheless. And you know, it's funny because, you know, people like us kind of get all this stuff. Other people look at it and be like, what is that? Who cares? So I find it entertaining. Next up, I'm gonna go for the even though this is on top here first, let's just go for these props here first. We got some Gemfan Freestyle 4. They are 5.1 by 3.6 by 3, I believe. Here's the sticker for that in case I said that wrong. There you go. Pretty cool stuff. Let's take a peek at those. Color's kind of like a muted, like, I don't know, it calls it raspberry red, but I would call that more like a mauve or like a dusty rose if you want to get all fancy with the colors. That's not very raspberry red to me. Raspberry red is much brighter and more vibrant. Nonetheless, the color is not as important as how good the propeller performs, and Gemfan brand props are always a welcomed addition to the collection. Next up, we got this thing here. We got the 5-volt motor base LED kit by ZK FPV. Kind of interesting. Looks like basically kind of like a, well, let's take a little peek at it. It looks like kind of like a skid plate with an LED on it, maybe. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's basically just a like a skid plate made out of the circuit board material, and it's got some 2 LEDs on it, and then little solder points, and then it's got like the holes, you see, so that you can do your mounting of your motors. Obviously, you wouldn't put this between your motor and your frame. You'd put this on the underside part. So just as a note though, remember this will add some thickness, so you may need to change the screws that you use to mount your motors, because they won't go in as deep into the motor when you add this. So you may need a slightly longer screw when you use these, but still kind of a cool concept. Another way to put LEDs on a quad. Digging that. And then we got this guy here. We got the, oh, it's a flight controller. Xylo stack, so we get this up here so you can see it. Although it feels very lightweight. Is there anything in here? How do you open this thing? Is there like, oh, here on the corner maybe? There we go. Oh no, there's something inside. So that's pretty cool. We got the flight controller. We want to take a peek at that. We can take a look. Come on. You can do it. There we go. All right, so here would be your top. And here would be your bottom. And overall, pretty cool. It's got the gummies pre-installed. That's always a welcomed addition. And then in addition, as you see, we also get some pigtails here for connecting it up. And then we also got some spare gummies in case you lose them or whatever. You got another set of them, so that's pretty cool. The case is kind of nifty too. Looks like it's part of these, like, they look like they could be interlocking. Like if you had a bunch of these, that you can use these for like storage of stuff, where like this side has like, see how it's got like these little tabby ends, and this side has like the recipient end, and same thing up here, there's the tabby ends and then recipient ends. So you could like click these all together, make a whole like storage thing out of these cases. So that's kind of a nifty concept. So you can use this box for something after you're done with the flight controller. And then we have a shirt, and that looks like that will round it out. So let's take a peek at the shirt. Pretty nifty. So to start out with, we do have, as I like to show, we do have the Gildan brand shirts. So that's always some high quality there. Here is your thing, your graphic, if you will. Pretty nifty. Digging it. FPVcrate.com, little advertisement. Like it. Like the color too. It's a very nice blue. Darker colors, always a welcomed addition to the collection. And I am excited to wear that. So let's recap. We got the shirt. We have the Xylo Stax flight controller. By the way, I didn't show the back of it, so I'll just do that right now. It is an F4 flight controller. So, you know, you have those flight controller divas that want their F6, but this is an F4, still functions, still works. Flight controller, we got our LEDs for our motors, we got our 3 sets of props, we got a sticker sheet, and we got our cheat sheet. All right, let's run some numbers and see how this box turns out. As I was unboxing this, I kind of felt that there was something a little amiss, but I didn't want to say anything until I actually ran the numbers. And having ran the numbers, this one wasn't as good as hoped for. So here, let's take a look at those numbers. So first off, we got the Gemfan props. And what's actually interesting, these are listed on the Gemfan website as being like brand new. So they're actually hard to find. So this might be one of those advantages to being part of the subscriber base for FPV Crate, because you do get access to things that may not even be out yet or may be brand new, and they may even be back ordered like we had with the Quaves frame, the Joshua Bardwell edition. I had it in my box and it was sold out and back ordered everywhere. So this might be one of those things that are brand new. These F4 props, there stands for Freestyle 4. They're 5136s by Gemfan. And actually what's interesting, on the Gemfan website, they refer to this color as lychee red. And on the label here, it's labeled as raspberry red, which my guess is because most people here in the States may not know what a lychee is. It's a lychee nut, but it's kind of soft. It's delicious if you're into that sort of thing. But the color of the outside is like a dull red color, which is what these are. But since some people may not know what a lychee nut is, they may they know what a raspberry is, so they just called it raspberry red. So I think that's the color's a little off in the naming, but I don't care. But they're Gemfan props nonetheless, and I'm excited to try them out because they seem to be fresh and brand new. Next up, we have these little ZK FPV LED kit thingy, and it's flagged in that orangey peach color because I can't find it. I don't see it anywhere online. I can't see where I can buy it. So I took a best guess and I used the tiny LEDs. They're smaller. It's like a 3 LED piece as like a comparator, meaning like I'm using that as a substitute. So since there's 4 pieces in here, I took 4 of those. They're $1.99 a piece, so call it $2. There's 4 of them. That would make $8. Now, granted, those have 3 LEDs on them. These only have 2 LEDs on them, but those have a board that's kind of just a square shape, while this is a little round one that you can use as for mounting underneath your motors. So I figured that's comparable, but I can't actually find. So if you know where to pick these up, please comment down below. Let me know so I can, see where you can get these. But I feel like $8 is probably a good base price, roughly guesstimating for this item. So definitely cool. I'm always looking for new ways to put LEDs on my quad. Because I'm into that sort of thing. I mean, I have certain quads that I use for like freestyling where I don't want, I'm using it during the day. Why am I putting the extra weight and the extra hassle of LEDs? But there's some that I want to fly at like twilight or, just after sunset, and it's nice to have a really flashy display. So you want to put some LEDs on there. Here is a way to do that. Next up, we have the Xylo Stax flight controller, and I'm sure a bunch of you are going to be like, it's an F4 flight controller. All right, relax. It's an F4. Be happy. It's a flight controller. There's many people out there that maybe can't afford things or may just be happy to have an F4 flight controller. So, I don't judge. I mean, obviously, I'd rather, the more powerful, the faster, the better processors. But nonetheless, a flight controller is a flight controller. You can throw this in a beater quad. You can throw this in, you can give it away to your friend, your neighbor, your pet dog, and they can still enjoy it. So for someone who doesn't have a flight controller, this would definitely come in handy. So yeah, definitely a cool thing to have. And then lastly, we have the shirt. Love the color. I love blues. I love blacks. I love purples. You see the color schemes. So these darker color shirts are always cool. I like the graphic on it. It is definitely a nice shirt. But then you see, as we come down here to the bottom, you can see we're just under $7. And we're at what, 10% over the cost of the box. Now, if you're unaware and you're new to the channel, my baseline to consider a box being like, yes, this is what I want, is about $20 or 25%, whichever one comes first, depending. And this is obviously well below that. So therefore, I would say this is sort of hitting the mark of being below. Now, where I came up with that number, well, I just made it up, straight up. But the idea behind these are mystery boxes, and the idea is that you give up choice. You don't get to choose anything. It's a mystery. So you're giving up choice for value. So in my mind, a good exchange is about $20 or 25%. It's sort of like, I'll let you send me whatever you want as long as you give me about 25% off of the price. Then even if it's stuff I'm not really interested in, I'm still happy that I got it for that amount of value. Here we're kind of low. And on top of that, like I said, you have an F4 flight controller, which people may say, why are we on F4 flight controllers? Haven't we moved on from that? So maybe people might be a little miffed about an F4 flight controller. If you're not into LEDs, you're certainly not going to be into these. So this is like, sort of like, who cares? Let's say you're a racer instead of a freestyle person. You might not be into these props. I mean, you might want something a little bit more aggressive than a 3.6 inch pitch. So these might not be something so, it's kind of a little bit more specialized. And lastly, the shirt, I mean, maybe you're not into swag. So you might be like, this whole box is a bust, and I didn't even get good value out of it. Granted, myself personally, I love swag. I'm a freestyle pilot primarily, so I'm very pleased to get freestyle props. I'm always good to have another flight controller, so an F4 flight controller does not bother me one bit. And I love LEDs, so the LED thing doesn't bother me one bit. But I like to look at it from both sides of the equation, because there are people out there who don't share the same viewpoints as me, and I know who you are. So therefore, it's you know, it's good to just kind of look at it from both sides, and this may not be the box for them to this month. But that's what happens. These are mystery boxes. The last couple of boxes, April and May, were freaking amazing value. So obviously, if you're going to have some amazing value, it sometimes needs to get balanced out with ones that are not so amazing value. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But I will say that if you do consider subscribing to the FPV Crate, please go down in the description down below. There is an affiliate link that'll bring you to FPV Crate's website that you can sign up and subscribe to this box. And, you know, it helps out the channel greatly and helps me bring this content to you. So if you're going to subscribe, please go down and use that affiliate link. It'll help me out greatly. Now, with that being said, I usually will then do I used to compare because we had the quad box, but the quad box is no more. So instead of comparing to another box, I like to just kind of keep a running total and keep a running tab, if you will, to keep FPV Crate sort of liable for what they're doing and just to keep everyone up to date on what's going on. So let's take a look at that right now. So let me give you a little tour of this if you're new to the channel real quick. That top line there is grayed out. It's basically just what happened from when FPV Crate launched in 2019 in July to the end of the year. Kind of like the honeymoon period before COVID. Everyone was all happy, you know, whatever. So I'm not going to really consider that into any of my future calculations, but if you want to, there's the information. You feel free to do it yourself. The next line there is what happened in 2020 with COVID and just all that craziness of 2020. So you get an idea of what happened in 2020, and now here we are in 2021. It's basically just a running total of how much extra value, the cost over the box, have we received. And then below that, I've just kind of done a total. You know, total of everything from 2020 to 2021 present, what we've got, what the averages are, what you can kind of expect to see if you become a subscriber. So this way you kind of have an idea what's going on and how things are going and how things are shaping up. Because like I said, not every box is going to be good. Not every box is going to be bad. But I think a really good way to look at it is that on average, they'll all be a certain representation, and that's what I'm trying to provide to you here is an average representation of what you can expect overall of these boxes. So that's why I like to provide this information. Now, with that being said, I've also now have my projections of what 2021 will look like by the time we get to the end. So let's go down to look at that. What I'm doing here is I'm really just taking the total of what we received in 2021 up till this point and then divided it out. So I take the total, divide by how many boxes we've had so far, and that gives me what the average is per box. And then I multiply that by 12 just to give us like what the whole year would look like. So this way, as we go through, it'll become more and more accurate because we'll have more and more data points, more and more boxes. The averages will be more accurate and stuff. And obviously, by the time we get to December, it'll be perfectly accurate because we've gotten all the boxes. This shows you kind of what to expect if you were to subscribe to the FPV Crate. And as you can see, per box, we still are above the $20 mark. And we are over the 25% mark per box. So even though this particular box wasn't so good, when we throw that into the averages, it didn't bring it down too much. It did bring it down. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to lie to you. This did bring down the numbers a little bit. If you check out the previous, May's box, when I do this comparison, you'll see the numbers are a little bit higher for the projected 2021. But we still are within my acceptable range of the $20 or 25%. So it's still a good deal. And if you decide to subscribe, the chances are usually once there's a kind of like a dud box, usually the next box or two are really decent. So a good time to subscribe, I always think, is that after one kind of comes out, that's a dud. Because, I took the hit and now you can jump on and get a better box. There's no guarantees. I don't have any privy information. So don't, take that with what as you will. But usually when there's a bad box, the next box, maybe not even sometimes the next box, but the box after that, like usually it's kind of like this. It goes good, then it goes bad, then it goes good, then it goes bad, then it goes good. But all we're here for is the average. And I will say, by the way, as we start getting towards the end of the year for that holiday season, there's usually when things start to get a little bit happier as far as value goes. So anyway, I hope that helps you out, gives you some good information, let you know what to expect. Like I said, if you are thinking of subscribing to the FPV Crate, please use the affiliate link down in the description below. It'll help me out greatly. And as always, my name is Tronage. Fly strong.